In the code behind for our contact entry, we're going to create a private member variable called update ID, which will initialize to 0. And in the constructor, we will pass in an ID. We're going to overload this constructor in just a moment, as you'll see. But if we do get an ID, the first thing that we're going to do is call app database, get contact passing in that ID. At the moment, it's not happy because we haven't put anything into the app. So let's go back to data binding CS where our app is declared. And here we're going to create a static variable of type contact database, which we'll call database, and a property of type contact database called database. And the getter is going to check whether the database is null. If it is, then it's going to initialize the database, and whether it initializes one or already has one, it's going to return it. Effectively, this is an implementation of the singleton pattern. We come back, and now there is a database, and now we can go ahead and set the first name text based on the contact we got from the database. And we can do the same with the last name, extracting it from the database and putting it into the entry view. And we'll get the email as well from the contact. We want to set favorite, but we have to go back and, as I promised, fix up is favorite so that it's in quote. With that in place, we can set is favorite, which you'll remember is a toggle. So we're going to set whether it's toggled based on the Boolean value that we're saving in the contact called favorite. We'll also set the ID, which you remember defaults to 0. Now we're going to set it to the ID that was passed in. Before we forget, let's create our default constructor, and in that call initialize component.